A sister desperate for answers after her beloved brother disappears, but now she has new hope.
A law goes into effect this summer aimed at helping police solve more missing persons cases in Michigan. 7
Action News reporter Anu Prakash tells us how it works.
In July, law enforcement agencies throughout Michigan will have to start inputting missing persons cases into this national database, something that could help more families like Frinny Williamson's get answers.
It's just mentally so hard when you love somebody that's lost.
For Julia Guy, the tears seem endless. The pain of not knowing what happened to her brother Frinny Williamson runs deep. He's been missing since the fall of 2016. Just the other day, a glimpse of a man turned to hope, something that happens often.
And I looked at a person standing outside, and I looked at it and I thought it was my brother. I was so happy. When he smiled, I knew it wasn't him.
Julia believes her brother was last seen in Detroit in the Brightmoor neighborhood.
Look how happy he is.
She says Frinny was a loving brother, father, and talented artist, but he struggled with a cocaine addiction for years.
My heart tells me that he's no longer here because he would have called me by now. My hope is to discover what happened to him. You know, is he still with us? Is he in heaven? Did he overdose? Was he killed?
Frinny Williamson's case is among hundreds in Michigan that are part of a national database called NaMus, the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System.
So we have missing, unidentified, and unclaimed.
It's not widely used, but starting in July, anytime a Michigan police agency takes a missing person's case and after a preliminary investigation, they must input it into NaMus immediately. Governor Snyder recently signed it into law.
It's really going to change, I think, the nature of how law enforcement investigates these cases. Because this database is publicly accessible.
Michigan State Police Sergeant Sarah Krebs testified before the House Committee of Law and Justice in support of NaMus.
It really makes sense to have public involvement in those cases because you are looking for somebody. And the more eyes out looking for them, the better.
Sergeant Krebs says the system used now, called NCIC, doesn't allow for photos to be entered and none of it is publicly accessible. But with NaMus,
there are spots in the database to collect dental records, fingerprint information, DNA information, and a lot of images.
And while much of that can't be viewed by the public, Krebs says anyone can see if law enforcement has collected that information, and the public can view the missing person's profile, share it on social media, and check for updates. It can also create a missing persons poster, which can be printed. NaMus even compares the records of unidentified remains to missing people.
It'll give you a list of possibilities on the unidentified side. With the capability of having all law enforcement using it, what a better database it would be and how many more cases that we could solve.
Julia prays she'll get answers surrounding her brother Frinny's disappearance.
He was the best brother in the world.
She says she'll never give up searching, but believes the NaMus law is a positive step forward that could help her family and so many others.
I'm very hopeful. It just broadens the base to help the other families so much.
The new law doesn't address unidentified remains or cases that were already entered into the other database, but Sergeant Krebs hopes that once law enforcement agencies see the capabilities of NaMus, that they'll volunteer to put those older missing persons cases into it. I'm Anu Prakash, 7 Action News.